This is Marcos Bangura, the Executive Director, Citizens Forum for Democratic Accountability, or C4D for short. At C4D, we aspire to inspire and empower citizens to imbibe the ideals of democratic accountability, as well as human rights and national cohesion. So it is on this basis that I have decided to give a talk or take a glance at the happening in Parliament. As today, Tuesday, the 5th of July 2022, we've had news or rumors about tensions in Parliament between the opposition and the ruling party, especially when the opposition claimed that talks from the ruling government had gone earlier this morning and occupied the gallery, because today Parliament will be engaging in deliberations of two bills. That is the Public Election Bill of 2022 and the Constitutional Amendment Act of 2022. These two bills deals with elections, especially the Public Elections Act 2022 or the Public Election Bill 2022 deals with the conduct of elections in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone as a country has its own laws when it comes to electoral laws. Sierra Leone has its own laws. But for one reason or the other, the government has thought it fit and wise to ensure that a bill is introduced as a way to change the laws, which is good, but I am frowning heavily at the fact that the bill itself was never taken to Sierra Leoneans in a nationwide tour so as to enable Sierra Leoneans to understand about the intention of the government to propose proportional representation. And again, I was expecting that we'll be having a kind of referendum on the bill because of the fact that it is but prudent for Sierra Leoneans to be informed properly. So it is on this basis that I have decided to take a glance at the happenings in Parliament in respect of proportional representation, as well as the holy-bolly, the tussles and the hustles that has been happening in Parliament. So now I am going to look at proportional representation. Proportional representation is an electoral system that is based on percentage and that is also based on multi-member constituencies, wherein individuals or candidates or MPs are elected based on the fact that they belong, first of all, to a political party, and they are elected on the proportion of vote cast during election. And that will be calculated in the form of percentage so as to enable representation in Parliament. But prior to the introduction of proportional representation, we have what is called first-past-the-post system. Under first-past-the-post system, several candidates may contest an election, but the candidate with the highest number of votes is declared the winner. And this is a system that we've been using since independence. And there was only an interruption in 1996 and 2002 as a result of the war. So because of that, the proportional representation was introduced. In other words, proportional representation is also called district block system. But eventually, the system was abandoned for the 2007 elections. And since then, first past the post has been very, very successful. These are the two systems that are used almost all over the world. That is proportional representation and first past the post system. First past the post system is also called simple majority or simple plurality system, while the proportional representation is called the PR system or the district block system. Now, the government, through Parliament, is trying to pass this particular system so that we use it for the 2023 elections. So far, so good. Proportional representation, in my opinion, is not good for Sierra Leone. First of all, it was abandoned after the 2002 elections for the first past the post system. And over the years, it has successfully been understood by the electorate. It is simple, it is cheap, it gives opportunity for the people to hold members of Parliament to account, and it strengthens the relationship between members of parliament and also their constituents. Then there are several things we take into consideration when we talk about the issue of proportional representation in terms of its disadvantages. But first of all, let me just take you through the advantages or the importance of first past the post system. In the first place, it makes all voters to vote a particular candidate or to support a particular party. Then also it provides for a strong government. And also it makes for a strong link between MPs and the constituents. Then also it fosters the formation of political parties. Then also it provides for clear majority in the House. Then also it makes for stable government and prevents revolt, creates room for holding politicians to account, which is very, very germane when you talk about democracy and good governance. Then also it enables the people to know who they are voting for. So that is why I am for the first past the post system, because it is suitable for Sierra Leone. It is suitable for a poor country. But when we talk about the PR system, it has a lot of shortcomings. And one of the shortcomings is the fact that it gives green light to a government to ignore the views of its people, because of the fact that members of parliament are not appointed by the constituents before they contest elections. They are appointed by the political leaders or the leaders of a political party. So when that happens, the members of parliament will not be accountable to the people. Then also, it pursues narrow self-giving agendas, because the government or members of parliament will not be accountable to the people. Rather, they look at personality, they look at the party, they dance to the tune of the music played by the party hierarchy or the party leadership. Because under proportional representation, you should be at the good books of the party before you be considered to contest an election. And once you are appointed on that grounds and you contest election, what happens? You will not be accountable to the people, and it is not suitable for a country like Sierra Leone that is practicing a multi-party democracy. Then also it can break the relationship between members of parliament and the constituents, because of the fact that members of parliament will have no business with their constituents, but rather with the party leaders, which is very, very bad. It makes the electorate confused. Proportional representation makes the electorate confused as to who they should vote for. It will be very difficult because it is a list. Say, for example, this is Freetown. If we want 15 members of parliament, or let's say because of the population in Freetown, we only want 15 members of parliament. All the political parties will present 15 members of parliament. And when they present 15 members of parliament, based on the proportion of votes, each political party will have its own member of parliament, which is not good by itself. So as a result of that, the proportional representation does not even encourage by-elections, because they go through the list, which is very, very dangerous. So as a result of that, that is why Citizens Forum for Democratic Accountability has decided to take a glance at the happenings of Parliament, as well as looking at the bills, the public election bill, as well as the constitutional amendment bill. But what is important here is the fact that, let's say there will be a debate in Parliament, right? As it is now, it will be very easy for the bill concerning the conduct of elections in Sierra Leone to be passed easily because of simple majority. Whilst the Constitutional Amendment Act require a kind of two-thirds majority. So far so good. This is the situation. I hold the view that you are okay and you've understood what I have just explained about proportional representation and first past the post system is a demystification that I want you to understand and comprehend and to consider it suitable for Sierra Leone. Thank you.